Put your red shirt on and a brown coat too. Everybody's joining the crew. We got just one ring that we rule them all. Hope you'll remember your towel. Get your Ulu feathers and your needler guns. A sonic screwdriver or a sword +1. Use Valerian steel if it will get you to come. To the pit tank. To the pit tank. The Rocky Mountain pit tank.
Hi, I'm Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy,
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.
your bucket of blood sized podcast.
Yep, coming up on the day.
Just one more day away.
You're only a day away.
So I saw Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, well,
Well,
Alex
somebody had to make the Evil Dead Rise.
Alex recommended it.
Oh, yeah.
If my memory's correct. Did
Nope, I haven't seen it.
Dang it, who was it that said that then?
I don't know. It wasn't me.
Did someone recommend it to you, Alex? Because it was.
I think maybe someone recommended it to you, yeah, or to me, and you were around. Yeah, it's probably B-Dan.
Okay, yeah, because there's, I believe the comment was about an elevator full of blood is what was being told to me, and so I went ahead and gave it a watch, and yeah, it's pretty good. It was had enough of the same feel that you could tell it was in the same sort of universe, but it was way more serious about being a horror film, and not at all for Guy.
Yeah,
because any movie where you have someone looking through a peephole, there's going to be a jump scare.
Oh yeah, that's just asking for it.
Yeah. But
no.
I had fun with it.
I'm getting anxiety just thinking of that.
Yep. I only made it 20 minutes into the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, and there actually wasn't any jump scares 20 minutes into it. And there wasn't any jump scares, which I was surprised about since the whole game is based off of jump scares.
Right.
But it bored me. So I actually left the kids to watch it, who are so familiar with the lore that they were making fun of all the stuff in it, which I didn't get any of the jokes because I'm not familiar with the lore.
Right.
But afterwards, they said for a movie that's supposed to be about murderous animatronics, there was very little murdering going on by animatronics.
So, very few murdering or animatronics.
Yeah, so it's yeah.
As an interesting side note, I got
murdered by an animatronic.
I got murdered by an animatronic. It was pretty sad. I hate it when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, no, I just one of those side things that drops into your feed every so often. It was an interesting thing that had dropped into my feed about this movie, and I want to say it was called Tag, but I'm
the
not
assassination
sure.
game.
Huh?
The assassination game. There's a movie called Tag: The Assassination Game.
No,
from the 80s.
No. This is a Japanese movie.
Oh, okay.
And I just looked it up because I was not sure what it was called. And I might have to... I know that in Japanese it was called Oni something. Because it was Oni as in demon. And it was Oni... Oh, come on. Goro? Onigoro? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm looking it up to see if I can remember or if it's in the last things I searched for. No, because all the last things I searched for were the Lorentz factor, which doesn't help me any. I've been working on relativity for the last 3 hours, which is just something I would do. But anyway, it was this fascinating movie that all I saw was the stills of it. But apparently the movie is about the schoolgirl, because all the movies are about schoolgirls. And she's like on this bus and she's, drops this pin or whatever and bends over to pick up the pin. And this wind slices the bus right through the middle. So everybody is bisected except her because she was bending over to pick up the pin.
Does it also cut off the back of her skirt so she's running around with her butt hanging out for like the first few minutes?
No, actually, apparently it had good reviews for being oddly very female empowering. because the entire movie is about like she's constantly being pursued, and different, it's like all these different visuals where it's almost like a dream sequence where she's constantly being pursued, and it turns out that in the end, spoilers, she's in a game, and she was this guy who invented the game. It's a VR game, and he used her DNA to bring her back to life. And so, but it was I was sitting there like, there's this bus, the top's cut off, and everybody is like missing everything from like their waist up, and blood spraying everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is such a Troy moment right here.
It was a Ghost
all
Ship.
This blood, huh?
Ghost. There's an American movie called Ghost Ship that had a similar thing with an anchor and a piano.
Yeah, with a girl that like knelt
well,
down.
she's short. She's just short, I think, is because she's a little girl. But yeah, from what I remember, my brother's like, yeah, that scene's awesome, and then you might as well just stop watching the rest of the movie after that.
Yeah,
because it doesn't get any better than that.
Somewhere along the line, I made the error of looking up on YouTube the best horror movie bisections, and then regretted my life choices because it actually made me ill to my stomach. I was very impressed.
Were they mostly Japanese movies?
Mm-hmm. No, they were American movies, but man, special effects artists are getting good. I mean, because I haven't watched horror movies since the 80s or whenever.
Mm-hmm.
And so the new stuff with the assistance of CG and stuff like that, it is grotesque. It started because somewhere I had seen certain sections of 13 Ghosts, which has way
with the
too
door.
many. Yeah, and that was what I remember watching that scene and going, that's amazingly well done. Like, because that's what happens. The guy gets the glass thing goes right through him.
And then they said, where's the lawyer? And they said he had the split.
Right. Which was entertaining. I didn't watch the rest of the movie because there's like some jump scare like 5 minutes later.
There's like 100 jump scares in that movie.
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. As soon as that, I was like, that's it, I'm done. But I was into that scene because I was like, that's really well done. And so then I was like looking it up on YouTube because I figured I'd just see that one scene. That would help. Then I don't have to deal with the jump scares all around it. I just wanted to see the special effects, but then it was like all these other movies too. And I'm like, wow, some of these are remarkably grotesque.
I watched it because it had a monk in it, Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
And when it came out, I was the same time period where I was actually watching Monk. And so I thought it'd be funny if instead of being the character who he was, if he would have been Monk in our horror fest horror film. Because he's so afraid of germs and everything.
I think he was almost Monk in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, he's really laid back for that though.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing about 13 Ghosts, which you don't really get much of in the movie, is they had in-depth backstories for every ghost.
Yeah,
we slightly dip into in the movie, so it was more fun going back and reading the stories of each of the ghosts they had in there.
Mm-hmm. But, I remember some of that. It was still fascinating.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of horror movies I want to watch in the next 24 hours, but I need to sleep. And I found there's another zombie movie that takes place in Paris that sounded kind of interesting called The Night Kills All or something like that. The Night Eats the World. It's a French film. But it looked like it dealt with a lot of the psychological problems that set in from loneliness when you're in an apocalyptic situation and you can't find any other survivors that aren't trying to kill you.
That makes sense.
But in any case, rented for a month Peacock, because that was the streaming service that had the Five Nights at Freddy's movie on it. And since Nick was having the party here, dropped the $7 on it, which is way cheaper than paying for like 10 kids to go to the movie theater. And since I have Peacock, I was like, oh yeah, they have the Anthony Mackie, the guy who plays Falcon in the Marvel series. They did a live action series off of the old PlayStation game Twisted Metal.
Oh,
Which when I watched the previews, I'm like, this looks horrible. Well, it's on a streaming service I don't even have. Blah, who cares? And now that I have it, I'm like, fine, I will watch an episode. And it was surprisingly entertaining. I'm like,
still stupid, but
it's
entertainingly stupid.
But they embraced the stupid. So
that's the best.
That's how they did that. And they if you're familiar, they throw in little things too. Like he has a code on his steering wheel so nobody can steal it, and it's like the cheat code that you would use to get infinite life in the game. It's like L1, R1, and so and then it has a lot of fun little stuff like that. And
That's awesome.
And Anthony Mack, I hope I'm remembering his name right. Mackie, Anthony Mackie did
Anthony
a great job. He did a great job in it. But it reminded me of the old 80s over the top action movies like Schwarzenegger would make, or the old like Death Race 2000 kind of stuff. So yay, Brent made it. He didn't get killed by any of the 13 ghosts.
No bisections. I learned not to look that one up. Boy.
Mm-hmm. What about trisections?
Well, I think this is more than, I don't know. There's apparently some TV show recently that came out where like the main female lead is captured by the serial killer, and he puts, like, the way that it's set up is really kind of gruesome and cool. She's standing there, and the hero comes in and goes, "Oh, good, whatever your name is. I'm glad. Why aren't you moving?" And the camera pans, and she is cut right through the middle, and she's sliced with slices. So it's just like these slices of glass,
like deli meat.
She's mounted on, So it's like half of her, and then a slice, and then a slice, and then a slice, and then and it's like, that was also pretty cool and super gruesome, but also pretty cool. It was like,
Brent's mentioning the ball pit, so that means he also saw Twisted Metal. So it was surprisingly entertaining. The Final Destination Part 2, there's a scene where a car explodes and it launches posts with barbed wire at a guy and slices him in part. And they had a behind the scenes where they showed where like his arm and his leg and his lower half were wearing the green screen clothing. And so then he just falls over, and so they just green screen the other parts that fell off. So it's kind of neat how they show the behind the scenes stuff with that.
That is cool. Yeah, I mean, just like you, I grew up, with a mom who went through that whole, like, she had to tell me every last detail. It is similar to the way you grew up. So.
Yeah, my brother had a subscription to Fangora magazine, so had all of the latest horror films of the time and showed the special effects and such.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where you just don't get practical effects anymore. And although the CGI is impressive, it's not like seeing the Thing for the first time and the robotic head sprout spider legs and eyeballs and crawl across the floor and stuff. So
that was still awesome. But The Thing is also a movie I can only watch with preparing myself, because it has a significant number of high stress, high anxiety stress moments. I'm like, Grr.
I think the probably the shocking one for me, because I don't remember a lot, but there was the chest opening up during the defibrillation scene. Yeah, that was unexpected.
Yep. Strangely, unexpected doesn't get me as much as the ones that really ramp up the anxiety. Those are the ones that really kill me. I mean, I don't like the ones that are unexpected, but they're not as bad as the ones that, it's coming. And like as you were saying, like the peephole thing, that something's going to happen there, Oh yeah.
I don't
That's
know this. I don't know the story to that one.
Yeah, now I'm kind of so Bob's saying that the hardest practical that people say is that kitchen scene in Ghostbusters where the eggs all explode and then fry. And that's what Bob's saying. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like in my head, I'm kind of trying to think of how I would do it if I were to do that as a practical. I mean, obviously the first thought would be to, make the countertop hot plate, because that'd be the easiest way to make that work. But yeah, I don't know how I'd make the eggs explode. I mean, other than to pressurize them, maybe. So like cut a hole in the bottom and put a hose into it so that it pressurizes, but that would cause the entire shell to shatter. So you'd have to score the shells so that they would shatter correctly. It's the only way I can think of doing it if I were to do it practically.
Build a fake shell that's designed to break, because you're going to probably need to shoot it over and over again anyway. So you want something reusable, and then that way you can control how it breaks open.
Yeah.
And then just load it with an egg, crack an egg open and dump it in there. I'll have to go back and check that out.
Now we're all like, well, let's look at this, because like, what does that mean?
Well, so my kids have decided they're done with trick-or-treating. I feel like Alex's kid's still younger than ours, so probably still into going and getting the candy.
Oh yeah. She loves
My
going
kid
out
wants to hand out the candy.
Nice.
But then went through the whole thing of tonight of, well, when can I stop? And I'm like, wait a minute, can you? Because I mean, I'd rather not personally.
Can you stop?
I mean,
sounds like a problem. Are you going to trunk or treat stuff, or going around the neighborhood, Alex?
We're going to a friend's neighborhood. There's a pack of kids, like one of Nova's friends. There's a pack of kids in the neighborhood, so we'll let them run amok and follow at a discreet distance. And
you can get a pack of kids. Sometimes you can get a rare inside there every so often.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's should be fun. And then we're going to a show tomorrow night. She Wants Revenge, which is they're very heavily influenced by The Cure and Bauhaus and Bowie and stuff. Should be a good show.
Nice.
Yeah. And then as far as like nerdy horror convergence, the newest thing I've heard is there's Magic the Gathering Secret Lair series. This is really disappointing news, because they did the Doctor Who decks, which are supposed to be really good and on theme. They're doing a Secret Lair Princess Bride, which the cards look good and they look like they're actually on theme for what they're doing. And then they've got Evil Dead, and for the most part they look kind of like they're doing well, except that Ash is not a legendary creature.
What?
So you cannot have Ash as your commander unless you're house ruling it with friends.
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
Like, that's a shoo-in. Oh my god.
And then, I mean, like the Princess Bride cards and the Evil Dead cards are not original cards. They're all, reskins and renames of existing Magic cards.
Which is cool.
And so, in a little bit of a rename, so that way you don't have to sit there and have to get it for you mechanically unique cards like the Doctor Who set. But it's like Ash isn't legendary.
That's not right.
It's so fucking stupid.
It seems obvious. We made Darth Vader and he's not legendary, or Luke Skywalker.
Right? Like
the main characters in this aren't.
I mean, I'm hoping that Wesley is at least legendary.
In the Princess Bride cards, I don't remember all of them. Though there's like 9 or 10 of them.
Yeah.
In one secret lair, as opposed to what they do. It's like, here's a secret lair with 3 cards. Now buy like 4 sets to get all of the ones you want. Jagobs. But
I'll order them online. That's what I did with the Transformers.
Yeah,
I spent far less money by just buying them online.
Right. Yeah, but it's like the Wesley is he's a reskin of Finn the Fangbearer, which is 1/3, a 1 green and a colorless 1/3 death touch. Every time a creature that has death touch damages a player, an opponent of yours, that opponent gets 2 poison counters.
Wow. Wesley
but,
would lead my creepy crawly deck.
Yeah, the ROUSs are a reskin of Pack Rat.
Makes sense.
There's a scene, the Battle of Wits, which is an
Nice.
actual Magic card, and I don't think they should renamed it. They might have. I don't know. Ash was just a guy until he survived the Deadites twice and went back to the past and became the fucking chosen one.
You're just saying.
And then they did Ash versus Evil Dead, where he is still the chosen one.
Yeah, they have him as a human knight.
Yeah.
But he could still be a legendary human knight.
Yes, they got a fucking million of them.
Right.
Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equipped 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Yeah. I'm assuming they have shotgun and chainsaw then.
I don't remember.
Equipment. But aren't all of the secret lairs reskins of previous cards?
No.
Oh.
No. The very first secret lair, there was a huge brouhaha about it. Okay, Bob, I'll take that. But no, the very first secret lair was a big brouhaha because it was mechanically unique cards, and it was Walking Dead.
Well, I thought I thought Rick Grimes was a reprint of another guy.
They might have reprinted some in the regular sets and be like, but it's like no, all the Walking Dead secret lair cards were originally mechanically unique cards. Oh, and they're legendary.
But not Ash.
I don't even think they have a bad Ash in there either, and they should.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I thought he was always a bad Ash.
No, I'm good. You're a good Ash. I'm bad Ash. Good little 2 shoes.
I think all 3 of us are pretty bad Ash.
Let's see. I could have sworn that one of them was, but yeah, the 4 more humans you can. Interesting. Yeah, they definitely seem like if they are new, they're interesting. Like whenever a zombie an opponent controls dies, draw a card. That I don't remember that from any other card, so that does sound unique.
Yeah, way to go, Wizards. It's really funny too. Is like my going to sealed events, like pre-releases and stuff, and I hear that they increased the prices of those too. But my sealed event deck box is orange with black, printing. This is my boomstick and a picture of Ash holding up his shotgun. I would have loved to have that.
Yeah.
And I don't buy many secret lairs, but the Dracula lens was right in my wheelhouse, and so is Evil Dead, except for they fucked it up.
Yeah, I mean that's totally why I did the Transformers. Fits with my robots deck, so it fits. It all fits. And to be fair, Optimus Prime is a pretty good card.
So. Here we go. So yeah, these cards are added to the list for Magic: The Gathering Wilds of Eldarin, meaning you'll need to crack some boosters if you want a chance to open one. This rotating set print appears Hansk Slayer's Zealot. So that's who they based Daryl off of. So he has the exact same ability.
Yeah, but I mean,
but that's retroactively because they did the secret lairs first.
Yeah. The circulars, the very first secret lair came out years ago.
Okay.
And so now they're like, okay, now we can sit there and finally make these cards for people who want to use these mechanics for the commander decks, but didn't get it on the secret lair thing later.
Makes me wonder if there's a secret later.
So there's just too many. It's even my kids who don't play Magic are like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There it is. I'm curious. I know Wizards has like all the money because they're backed by Hasbro now.
Mhm.
So I guess any IP they want, they're just going to easily be able to snag.
Okay, maybe.
Well, I mean, like Princess Bride, I'd
yeah,
that
wouldn't have
surprises
guessed that
me.
either.
There's now looking at a Jurassic Park card with Malcolm. But yeah, I mean, when they did Walking Dead, which was the first I think I knew of,
it was the first one.
Okay, so that's it. Like it doesn't fit. It's modern day. It just doesn't make sense that they did that. And yeah, they did Stranger Things, of course, to tie into their Dungeons and Dragons set.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, the whole Warhammer 40K instead of doing Warhammer Fantasy was because not enough people play Fantasy, I guess. And they're like, let's go with the IP that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the D&D stuff maybe just didn't take off, and that's why they never went back to it. Because they tried to add the whole dungeon mechanic, the dungeon crawl mechanic.
Oh, that was just it was a mechanic that required people to have extra cards to remind them of what's going on. Because when you delve into the dungeon, there's 3 different dungeons you can choose from.
I'm surprised about that too, Bob.
And it's another thing that has a lot of how to say, like, cognitive load. It's like you can't, like, most people aren't going to just be able to remember, okay, this is, even if you're not playing the dungeon card, and now if you look at it all the time, you're like, okay, so what's the other options they can take? Do I need to be worried about this as I go through it? So it hasn't been more crossover into 5e. Sure they had the Ravnica.
I think he's just saying he's surprised there wasn't more crossover since they had Ravnica.
They do. I'm having trouble parsing because they've done like 3 Ravnica sets.
Right. But he was saying, I think, more 5e. So.
Oh, you mean Ravnica? Oh, I see. You mean like doing magic properties into 5e. Yeah, they did Ravnica, they did Theros, they did I thought they did another one beyond that. But I know they did at least those 2. Yeah, let's see here.
Yeah, the surprised they don't go with more themes like they used. Like they had All Hallows Eve back with was that the Dark?
No, that was All Hallows Eve is from Legends.
Yeah, surprised they don't go with more like on theme prints, like a special release for Halloween. Although they did do Junji Ito a while back, but that's again Secret Lairs, not a set. See, what are some of the worst crossovers they could do? Nightmare Before Christmas.
Are you tempting them?
Yeah, Addams Family.
Well, I mean, here's the issues though. I mean, because they can't actually get anything they want, right? They got to try to make a deal. Like, how much money do we have to pay you to get this IP, and how much of that money are you going to want? Because remember, Nightmare Before Christmas is Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas all over it, but it's the rights are really owned by like Disney.
Yeah, now that Disney has Lorcana, they'll never let any of that go because they have
Disney was never going to let any of that shit go.
No.
Yeah. It's Disney.
Well, they let McDonald's make toys, but
yeah, well,
let's see. They're just gonna cross over a licensing with like Coca-Cola Magic the Gathering. I actually saw I was on Facebook. IHOP and Magic the Gathering had a crossover thing at MagicCon or something. I can't remember what it was called, but they actually did a play mat that looks like the mat that you'd have at an IHOP with a plate on it with pancakes, and then burnt into the pancakes are the magic symbols. Like,
kind of cool.
And I was reading about it's like, how did you get this? And they said, well, you had to go get like the little passport book at the convention, and then go get like 20 different vendors to like stamp it, and then come back, and then you could get it, type thing.
Weird.
It's like,
oh, it looks like they I mean, they have those books but there's also some PDFs that were released that they called Plane Shift, and they were free. They were like 20 to 40 page kind of little world building books, and they were for Zendikar, Kaladesh, Innistrad, Ixalan, Dominaria, and Amonkhet.
And who did that?
Wizards of the Coast.
No, I meant, was it a crossover with something, or
no? Like Bob was asking about how about other properties.
Oh, I see.
D&D. So Wizards did that.
Okay, yeah, and then and there's the 5e books that's set in their world. Yeah,
the Theros,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Strixhaven, I think they did. Yeah,
did they do a Strixhaven one?
I think they did.
I'm getting that fat Harry Potter cash. Speaking of fat cash.
What? That was
it's 9:33.
Transition.
But it was.
I would have pushed the button if I had it.
Yeah, I know. I don't have the button either. That's all right, because we will go to say that Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, and your
mom, Norman Bates.
Definitely Norman Bates' mom.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah. You.
Yeah, if Halloween was on the weekend, I'd be trying to get together people to play not Project Zomboid. Although Project Zomboid would be fun to play, but I was thinking Zombicide.
Too bad.
That rarely ever hits the table now.
D&D.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kevin didn't realize that we weren't playing last week, so he was surprised when I told him, "Yeah, there's no game on Saturday. Everybody's at Gen or my HawkCon."
Yeah.
So. Yep, that's where you guys were. So how was that? We said we were going to like do a little update on that.
Update? Yeah, I mean, I always like Mile High Con. It's one of my home cons. It's one of the ones that I went to a long time ago, and so I know a lot of people there. But this is my first year tabling, and so that was pretty cool. And I made table and all of the extra expenses, so I broke even. I think I even came out like $10 or $15 ahead, which was surprising for me. I was actually, because I didn't know what I was in the author's row, and I was like, well, but I'm not actually selling novels, so don't know how this is gonna go. And it went fine. All the other authors were like, oh, that's cool, instead of like, you are in the wrong place. I didn't know what to expect. I was like not sure.
You're a shark, not a jet. Get out of here.
I was like, it was starting.
Yeah. It was surprising to me too, is I didn't see you at your table at all.
Whoa!
Yep, because I was hanging out in Ops looking for you. Didn't see you in Ops either. Just saying.
I was working.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because my job doesn't take place in my departmental room in that con.
You don't have to live in Ops room?
What? No. Weird. I have to be out and about solving shit.
I know, doing detective work.
That is actually kind of funny though, because like I felt like I was there all the time, but somehow managed to not be there when you were there, because I never saw you either. Yeah, I was like, did you ever come down to Author's Row?
I was looking for you. I ran into you in the hall and gave you some grief.
Yeah, you did. It was fun. The way it should be. The way
Your name is Author. Author, got my eye on you. Both of them.
I know you're causing trouble somewhere.
I think I convinced a few more people to watch Venture Brothers. Excellent.
Nice.
I was on Sunday. I was wearing my Office of Secret Intelligence T-shirt. This is Aggression Envoy on it. It's like, That was good.
Yep.
Yeah. Any cool stories from HiCon there, Guy?
I got to talk to Michael Burgess, who was the original founder of pretty much everything anime here in Denver. He was in 1980. He was at Worldcon and walked by this room where they were showing Gundam, and he didn't know what it was, and he had no idea. And he sat down in there and watched it, and then watched everything after that, and pretty much camped out in there, and then said, "What is all of this?" And the person running the room said, "It's anime." And he said, "Awesome." And he went back to his college and started a chapter of the Cartoon and Fantasy Organization, the Denver chapter, which was ultimately Cartoon and Fantasy Organization of Denver, or Seafood. And then that lasted for a long time until it became the Die Group. And then by then it had branched off to the Colorado Springs group and the Fort Collins group. And so, I mean, like literally that moment was, and it was really cool. He came by, he bought one of my comics. He gave me a pen, a really nice pen. I was drawing with it for the rest of the weekend because it was such a sweetheart pen, and gave me a hug and went on about his way and promised that I could contact him and get into a Zoom meeting sometime and get his version of the story, because he's not a spring chicken either. So but I mean, like, that was really cool because he is the reason that we have NDK. I mean, just right there. We wouldn't have NDK without him. So literally the beginning, the genesis of it all. So that was cool. I also got to see Dion was there, who was the original con chair for NDK. That was cool.
Yeah, she started working for us last year.
Yeah. So I got to hang out with her and talk to her, and that was cool. Yeah, I mean, it was just, and Rose and Linda and all kinds of stuff. I mean, Linda and I talked about story writing, and Linda sent me some of her work so that I could proofread it and be a beta reader for her. And Linda, I think Linda has stepped down from con chair because it just said committee, it didn't say concom.
She has not. She is no, yeah. It's like everybody on the conference committee has a committee.
Okay, so it's not just doesn't say concom anymore.
Yeah,
fair. I was like, did she step down? I don't know. It doesn't say.
No,
concom.
She has a co-chair now.
That's cool.
But no, she has not stepped down.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, she's it's kind of cool. I was just enjoying it, and next to me were two young ladies who were starting out for their first year there, and they had a lot of interesting books that they did pretty decent, even despite the fact that it snowed on us. The guy next to me it was like his 490th year or whatever. I don't know. He'd been there forever. And he did pretty well. So we all did pretty well. I mean, certainly it was, but I enjoyed meeting with people more. I mean, I kind of knew that I would do okay, but more importantly, it was to meet with all the people. But it was a successful con for me, which did surprise me.
Cool.
What did you experience there, Alex?
Oh, yeah, I had to work. And so I was, had a good time. Had something pretty much every day come up that needed attention.
Yeah.
So, sorry, for those who don't know, I'm second in charge of operation. I basically am the co-head of operations. For the org chart, I'm second in charge, which also means I'm head of security. So not a lot of bad things happened, but some bad stuff happened that needed some attention. And yeah, so so it was some of the stuff we had to deal with was basically some kind of some misunderstandings or some people crossing boundaries when they shouldn't have, and not in a sexual way, but in a personal boundaries and kind of some other boundaries. We did have somebody who is on the permanent banned list that came by and got clocked and we did not have to escort them out, but they got the word that they were still not welcome, and they left.
The word permanent.
Yeah. Another thing, we had an altercation with some kids, and by kids I mean younger teenagers. And we were told about it after the fact by a few hours. And so we were like, hey, you know what? There's not a lot that we could have done, but we could have done some stuff to help you guys out. Please come talk to us. Not 3 hours later.
Right.
Well, yeah. So let me see. One thing that I learned was that I learned about this. I think did I mention last week about the cabaret?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the cabaret fired, and apparently was enough of a hit that they're going to do it again next year. So I'm like, I want to do it. One of the things I need to do is come up with a burlesque name. We were brainstorming some. I didn't like most of them. One that I did like, but probably not for me, is Benedict Cumberbulge. But like I said, not really for me, but it's a good name. Oh, yeah. And, work on learning the song inside and out, and start choreographing the business while doing it. And yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I asked the head of programming, so how many slots do you have open as I'm in? Well, we can have as many slots as we need, and I'm like, so I want to be in on this. It's like I don't care how many slots you want to have open. I don't care how many slots you think you can have. It's like,
do you have in for me?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, so
I'll
awesome. Lobby to either be the opener or the closer, and so yeah, should be cool. Trying to think of other cool things. Oh, actually, the wife and the kiddo were able to come out this year. They weren't able to come out last year, so we had a good time. Nice. My department head and Lauren get along really well, so they got to spend some time together, which is nice. Like it when connections are reinforced, and
right.
I will say that the general consensus is that the poor weather did have a effect on our numbers.
I think so too.
It was a little bit smaller than usual.
But it wasn't on our cons. That was good.
No, we managed to bounce back pretty well after COVID from AhiCon, and this year's a little bit lower numbers because of the weather. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's pretty funny though that because of inflation, that prices of places to eat nearby are not that much lower than the hotel prices.
Oh man.
It's my family and I, we went out and we got a side of fries for the kiddo. Lauren got an appetizer that was huge, and I got a sandwich and fries, and Lauren got a beer, and it was $35 for a side of fries, a meal with a side of fries, a beer, and a big old appetizer. And when you go over to Wendy's and get 2 burgers and a fry,
yeah,
it's like $15-$20. I mean, so
you're not wrong.
And of course, with the weather, I mean, not only did many people not as many people came, but also many people didn't want to leave.
Right. I didn't want to leave.
Just fair. Yeah.
I also didn't eat a lot though. I don't know. I felt kind of awkward eating at my table for some reason at this particular con. It was a little weird.
Here's my book.
Yeah.
I sign it with it.
I sign it in ketchup.
Side of hand salsa.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I having recently been at the Gaylord. I have to say that it's like,
yes.
Yeah, it was at the Marriott DTC. Yep, or DTC Marriott, just like Andy Cale is using COAF and all that. But it was like Like the room seemed to be about the same footprint as the Gaylord, but it was like the room itself was bigger because at the Marriott because the bathroom was smaller. I'd have to get a tape measure to know for sure, but that was my definite impression.
Well, they're both Marriott properties, so it's entirely plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Having just spent all of last week scanning in various documentation from, in fact, the aforementioned company. So, I scanned in a ton of really old documents from Marriott and have found that, and now I know all their secrets. I know them all. But yeah, rooms and stuff like that are sort of standardized to some degree.
Yeah.
So, which makes some sense. It is kind of weird using Bonvoy points that were once my dad's Marriott points that go back quite a ways. It's kind of strange, but that's a thing.
Smaller room reminds me of like that scene in Being John Malkovich where the desk gets shorter because the other person on the other side of the wall is pulling the desk in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Their bathroom's getting smaller because somebody else is making their bathroom bigger.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I like it. I like it.
So we have November coming up and Galacticon.
2 days. Oh.
The Galacticon's not in 2 days.
No, but November's in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the weekend after Thanksgiving, but I might be able to go to buy a day pass and give them some support.
Did they say how many passes they're giving us?
Have not said, but I ran into their media team.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're getting media passes, so unless you really want to buy a pass, you could use the media pass and then just buy something there, like a shirt or something, to support them.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, because I think I'm working Friday,
and I'm working Saturday.
Yeah, I can't remember if I'm working Friday and Saturday, but I think I'm working Friday. Actually, I should probably check because I can tell you right now.
Before you get to Friday and go, oh, I was supposed to work.
Oh, I'm working that day.
Oops.
Well, the boss needed help, and so I was willing to assist where I could. So yeah, I'm working Friday, but I've got Saturday and Sunday clear. So that's good. Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to be in Denver. So wish me luck. Yeah. And maybe what we'll do is I'll actually maybe shoot some video and stuff like that while we're there. It might be, handheld video. It might be the phone because we'll have to see how things go. But I'm curious too, but I also want to kind of record some of it and kind of have some history. So we might do a walkthrough.
We if we can do like we did before, we tried to get there to a convention. We try to arrive on the Friday night of the convention to say, hey, here it is. Here's what's going on. Here's a quick little rundown of the program book. So if you want to show up for just a day for like Saturday or Sunday, then you'll know what's happening for those days.
Yeah, and since I'll be leaving from Denver, I can make it down there easier than if I were leaving from, say, here. Because I'll be at the Denver Center, so will be a little easier to do. So that's a plus. Certainly.
Cool.
So yeah. Well, and that will be, if nothing else, I'm looking forward to seeing if I can get to just time with any of these their guests. Their guest list is pretty cool. They got Todd Stashwick and they've got Denise Crosby, and didn't they also say that they had Martok? I thought they did.
You mean Keitel?
No.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Okay, I typed in Galacta and it says Galactaria.
You don't want that.
I see.
You do not want to get hit with a bout of Galactaria.
Yeah, I don't want Galactaria, please. Yeah, so we got Stashwick, Denise Crosby. Oh, Mason Alexander Park. Oh, my sister's going to want me to interview him. Yeah, and J.G. Hurlitzer. So, who was Martok. And he said he got somebody from Battlestar Galactica. Oh, yeah, he did. Rick Worthy from Battlestar Galactica.
Cool.
So that was cool. He said we had a panel on all of the people from all the local conventions, and I represented NDK. It was kind of cool because like all these other conventions were there, and we were all talking about that. And Galacticon, he was like, I had to make sure I got at least one Galactica guest. I felt like having Galacticon #1 without a Galactica guest would have been bad. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, so it looks like we got quite a few cool guests coming in. And of course, Keitel is there too.
It all comes down
Jesse James Keitel.
It comes down to what they're scheduled to do for panels and such, and if they're up for any kind of interviews as to whether we're going to get any interviews or not.
Yeah. So, and just so we're aware, if we get an interview with Mason, I probably ought to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that'd be fun. I like Mason Alexander Park in actual Quantum Leap. That was they do a good job, and it's one of my sister's favorites too. So nothing else, just a little bit of nanny boo boo and rub that in, because my sister has zero interest in ever competing with me. So all of the competition between my sister and me is only on my side. Because she's like, cool. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to be all... Oh. I'm like, dang it. I lose out on the competition part. So...
Well, it's not exactly short notice. I know it's a busy weekend, but could you come up and visit and meet him?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see. I don't watch Quantum Leap, but yeah, I know Mason from Sandman.
Or was he in Sandman?
What's the Envy? What's the name of that god? The one that's behind everything. That's screwing with the brother.
Oh, it's it's Desire.
Desire. Okay. So yeah, Mason plays Desire.
Is there a new Quantum Leap?
There was. I don't know. It might have been canceled already.
Okay, because I'm kind of like that guy is not.
No,
that person is not old enough to have been in the original Quantum Leap.
No. There is a new one.
Okay.
Raymond Lee, who I can't tell you what they are from right now, but yeah, it's a remake, I think.
Okay.
Or is it a continuation?
Leaper, because in canonically, there's many Leapers running around fixing shit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, in Quantum Leap?
Yeah. Is it a remake or is it like his grandson or nephew? Or
the new Quantum Leap takes place. They're kind of trying to hunt down Scott Bakula.
Okay.
Like he's out there somewhere.
So it's connected.
It is, but now it's something happened to it. And it's actually kind of cool because now the main character is leaping all over the place. Whereas before the rules of Quantum Leap was that Sam Beckett could only leap inside his lifetime, but now something has happened to the Quantum Leap machine, and the new character can leap all over the place, and that's because there's something going on and something guiding him. So it's fascinating what they're kind of alluding to, and I've actually been really enjoying the new Quantum Leap. It's been really cool. But I also, both my sister and I specifically are enjoying the character that Mason Park is talking about, or that portrays, because they are clearly some kind of, gender neutral, gender ambiguous character, which nobody says anything about, and they just go about their day, and it's wonderful. And they're a good actor. I just love the way that they play. It's just a good way of running it. But anyway, yeah. So looking forward to that. Hoping we can get an interview with them. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
We'll have to wait and see, I guess. We probably won't know until Friday. And then even then we won't know. It'll be like back in the old days with Starfest. So it'll be like, okay, here's my number. Text me, and we'll be like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Because you have to kind of like be ready to go. Because you never know when the actor's going to be like, okay, I can do it now before I go to lunch.
Right. Well, that actually would be good, because technically I could probably make the whole weekend since I'm not working Saturday. So I could be there Saturday for you to cover if I need to, and you can be there. Sunday, well, you could technically be there Saturday night if you needed to.
Yeah, I could show up like 6, 7 o'clock, but usually people don't do interviews past 2,
they go to bed.
It seems. Yeah,
especially once they've gotten into our altitude,
or they go drinking with the Klingons.
You're looking straight at you, Bortus.
To one of the Klingons at Mile High, or one of the Klingon people at Mile High Con, and I was like, "Hey, you guys gonna bring the Klingons back for Galacticon?" He's like, "Maybe we will."
I mean, really?
I was asking about boots for my classic Klingon outfit. I still want to do.
Nice.
Oh man, I'm in. So that would be great.
You could do Scotty and do the whole exchange. Did you call the Enterprise trash? I said it should be hauled away as trash.
Right.
Then you can get into the old bar fight.
Oh, you've gone blurry. Mm-hmm. I need glasses to see Troy again.
I've been drinking.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear you've been drinking, because you are not, in fact, clear.
Whoa. Yeah, during the intro, it was doing this slow-mo audio, for me at least. It was weird. It was appropriately spooky season.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes whenever I start up on my iPad over there, the music it's almost like, you remember how you could, with the old record players, you could just drag your finger on it and it would slow it down, and then it would like spring back. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's so weird because it doesn't have a digital sound. It actually slows down like that. It's like, what? That was just weird. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to have to go run that for that aforementioned show, which means I'm going to have to move along, little doggy.
Get out of here.
Well, you kids be safe out there with Halloween and all.
Yeah, everybody be safe with Halloween and have a fun time and all of those things that, Halloween brings about. And we will see you next month. But that's all the time that we have for today. Until next month, I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And I've been Alex.
And this is Geek Tank.